Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Grimmsnarl. This Pokemon just got released basically through the event that is happening currently in Japan. People are able to join those raids with remote raids, and I was able to do that as well. And so here we're going to be able to now showcase this Pokemon in the Open Ultra League. It is in theory possible to get this one also for the Great League already. Well, if you can trade one basically with especially low friendship, it is possible to get one for the Great League and then also for the current cup that's available for it, but yeah, I do think it's going to be very likely a little bit stronger in the Open Great League compared to the Open Ultra League, by the way. Why? Because in the Open Ultra League, the fast move damage is not as important as it is in the Open Great League. You're going to have quite a bit more impact with this Pokemon in the Great League, where you're going to be able to just foul opponents with the fast move of Sucker Punch with a stab bonus on top of it, especially if you are going to run the moveset of Power Punch on this thing, which honestly I might even try out before even the event is going to start again here, because yeah, Power Punch I think is going to be kind of cool for this Pokemon. It's going to allow it to have better pacing, which was something that I had to note was a bit problematic sometimes for this Pokemon and for this team, that it doesn't have the Night Slash, it has the Foul Play. And this means that in order to get to a charge move, you actually need to go for 6 fast moves, and that is... It sounds like just like one fast move difference is not that big of a deal, but it's actually quite a bit of a big of a deal. But as you can see, we should have been going for the Poison Fang here actually. It's quite likely that the opponent is going to shield here, knowing that I have Stone Edge anyway. But if I would have went for the Poison Fang, this would have now knocked them out if it would connect. It does connect here. And I would have been maybe able to win this battle with it as well. But like this, the opponent is going to still have a shield, and they're going to be able to farm us down. And so we can move on to the next opponent. So, in comes, I think, the second Belly Bolt in a row. I have to say I had quite a lot of very bad matchups with this Pokemon generally, or with this team here as well. There's going to be another team that I'm going to showcase later on as well, which was kind of as much pain as well. But trust me, we're going to have here a still interesting matchup. We're going to have the Belly Bolt against us. If they're in the lead, what I've seen so far from Belly Bolt, it's a 90% a Thunder Shock version, which means it's going to outspeed us. If it is Sucker Punch, we actually would be able to not only double resist the fast move, which is something that is quite cool. Double resisting Dark type is very rare. Like, you really don't have a lot of Pokemon that can do that. And they have only really Scrafty and Pangoro. Like, in theory, yeah, Dark and Fairy, which we have, is able to do that. But like, there's nothing else really that can do that. So, yeah, this is a very nice thing generally, because there are a lot of Pokemon currently that are running Dark type fast moves, especially with Sucker Punch being one of the most strongest fast moves in the game. And this can help definitely the Grimmsnarl, especially later on for the Great League. I'm thinking of Ferret, for example. Doing basically then no fast move damage against you is quite nice, but then again as well, you're going to be outsped by it, and Swift is going to hit quite hard as well still against you, because what you don't have with this Pokemon is a lot of bulk. And this is where, for example, in the Great League, the pre-evolution of Morgrim is going to come in clutch. I made an entire video towards what you kind of need to know about those two Pokemon as well, earlier on, like yesterday, literally the last video that's on the channel here. So definitely check it out as well if you want to have a little bit more information towards that and why Morgrim is so much cooler than Grimmsnarl. But here we're going to see the matchup of Cresselia against us, and because we were able to get some debuffs onto this Pokemon as well, the Air Cutters are just doing so much damage, and we are in a position where we can guarantee win this battle. Moving on, we're going to have a Stunfisk here, fully XL against us, even level 51 in the Open Ultra League. That is not the Pokemon that I like to see, because our Sasop especially is going to be a bit weak to it. But at the end, Nidoqueen is also quite weak to it. If the opponent has energy advantage, Nidoqueen does not want to go up against the Stunfisk. But Playoff is coming through now against the opponent. We are going to be able to let the move go through. This is going to be the Mud Bomb, doing some solid damage here. But let's find out what they're going to go into. They're going to go into the Corviknight. We're still going to be able to reach that Foul Play, and this is actually quite crucial, because our best answer to this Pokemon is our own Corviknight. As we're going to have the Nidoqueen in the back, we are not going to have the best Pokemon there to deal with for this Pokemon, and so we're going to take that payback here like it's nothing. We can try to go for our own payback, and we slowly but surely whittle them down with the fast move in order to put them into the range where maybe even an Air Cutter is going to be enough to knock them out. But let's see if this is already going to be the case. As we're going to let the next move go through, it's going to be guaranteed a payback from the opponent's Corviknight, as there was no real reason to go for anything else. But in comes, the Stunfisk, and can we destroy this thing with our Nidoqueen? We are going to be able to go for 2 fast moves, but not enough to deny their own charge move. Of course, I shield up the super effective Mud Bomb onto our Nidoqueen. We have a shield disadvantage now going into the final matchup, as we have already the Corviknight out. That's kind of cool. We don't know what is in the back. We're gonna see them going into this Pokemon here again, so there might be a Pokemon in the back that we can deal with. We're gonna try our best to farm them down. Oh, did we see already what we had? We didn't see it. It's an Empoleon. That is okay. We have the Poison Fang here. That is going to drop the opponent's defense stat by 1 stage. They're going to shield this move up even though it's a double resisted hit. And we can go for 3 fast moves here in order to get some nice damage into them. I actually would have been able to even reach another fast move here in time and like get the damage in against them before stopping, which I could have done. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I have quite a lot of fast move pressure still in with the rest of my Pokemon. And even if they would knock me out here, which they are able to do, I still have my Grimmsnarl with 1 HP left in the back. And we have the same fast move duration, so here they're forced to go for a charge move in order to knock me out. But like this, I'm gonna guarantee win with my Nidoqueen, and we can move on to the next opponent. So far, so alright. We're gonna see an Anamoris in the lead. Like, why does anybody win this Pokemon now? Anamoris kind of dropped off quite significantly. This Pokemon was really solid when it first got released, to the point where people were kind of annoyed at this being out there because it was only out in, I think it was like those EX raids, which we haven't seen, I think, ever since. I think Anamoris was the last one where we had those raids. But yeah, basically Anamoris there was super strong, especially also in the Master League, but also in the Ultra League. And here we see someone in like 2900 ELO range with Rampardos and Anamoris. That is not something you see every day. And Shadow Gengar. That is also not something you see every day. So a very spicy team from the opponent. And the funny thing is, they are going to be in not a bad spot here. And I decide to go ahead and let the move go. Because of Anamoris, I cannot decide to go for the no shield because I now have my Nidoqueen. I have my Poison Fangs against them. But I also know already at this point that I'm not even in the best position here right now. I'm going to be forced to go for the Poison Fang, and they're going to get to another Fly here. They reach Fly so fast. This is the main reason why this Pokemon was so popular for, like, at one point basically when it got released, because it gets to those charge moves insanely fast. It has perfect coverage. It has a double stab here with a Fairy Wind and the Fly, and then you're going to have Grassnarl in order to knock out opponents. So here we have to hope they try to catch the move, which they do, and with that we are going to be able to win the battle. But if they actually played out a little bit differently, I think they would have won this one if they played a bit better. But I'm happy with it, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face a Weezing. Weezing is going to be a bit of a tough opponent for us. We're going to have to swap out of here because our lead has 0 damage basically against it. That's going to be even neutral, as both the Dark as well as the Fairy type are going to be resisted here by the Weezing's typing. Weezing's typing itself is actually really cool, as they go for the Overheat, which maybe I should have tried to shield up. But Weezing's type is really cool, being a Poison and Fairy. I think it's the only Poison and Fairy type Pokemon currently. I can't at least think of any other. But it's a very good... there is, I think it's not like one of the legendaries in last generation, I think it is. But yeah, here we're going to see it's a very cool typing generally. Has a great amount of defensive help there. Basically, you're going to be able to resist so many types, which is really cool. Like, you're going to double resist the Dragon. You're going to resist the Grass type Pokemon. You resist... not resist Poison. It's going to be neutral for Poison, but kind of covers up the weaknesses of the Fairy typing there as well. And with Overheat on this Pokemon as well, you cover up even the Steel type weakness of the Fairy types, which is kind of great to see. Anyway, we're going to see actually a Pokemon that we can deal with. It's going to be that Virizion. Virizion is going to be weak to the Poison Fang. I had a lot of energy already on my Nidoqueen, and so I'm going to be able to force a shield here from the opponent, which is okay. We are going to be able to let this move go. This is going to be the Leaf Blade coming through. And as we will see as well, we are going to be able to, shield up yet another move. This is going to be the Leaf Blade coming through from the opponent. And they're gonna snipe me here, sadly, with a Feraligatr. Well done there. I didn't think that they would be able to snipe it. I didn't think they had the energy for it. Now I would have, no real way of winning this battle, unless I would go for Play Rough and the no shield, but this is unnecessary from the opponent. And so they no shield, and I could have went for the Play Rough and I would have won the battle still, but yeah, if I stopped out there, I must say I would have been fine as well before. Unfortunate, could have maybe won that one if I played a bit better. But so far, not actually that bad. Grimmsnarl is doing quite well, even though it is not perfect IVs. I do think that the IVs quite matter for this Pokemon. But also, I don't even know if it's the right meta for it. That is what I'm thinking. I think that the current Ultra League meta is generally pain. Like, I don't really like to play the Ultra League, but I still kind of want to do it here, of course, for the video. But I do think it's generally very tough to play this Pokemon in the Ultra League meta. There are a lot of, like, XL Tinkaton, which you cannot hit at all. There are quite a lot of Florges, which are very tough for you to deal with. Here, of course, we're going to have a matchup where actually Grimsnarl is doing quite well. We're going to have the Charge Move coming through. The Foul Play is going to knock out the Driftblim. Let's see what's coming in next. It's going to be the Prime Map coming through. We're going to be able to, I guess, no shield here. And we shield. It's going to be close combat. We might even be able to fully farm them down here. And we do. And so Grimsnarl is actually on the way here to destroy the entire team from the opponent. But as you can see, we're going to be able to go for the Foul Play. They are deciding to let the move go. And this allows us now to just go into Nidoqueen and knock them out. I know I win this battle. Wanted to swap out there. I think I just misclicked next to the button for swapping out. So that's a great job for me. But we win no matter what. And so we can move on to the next opponent. So, let's take a look here. We're going to have the Giratina. That is going to be a great matchup for me in the lead. But we see here the swap out into the Togekiss, and I should have most swapped out already earlier. But I kind of thought I kind of want to have a little bit of damage already onto the opponent, or just keep that energy, I guess, for later on as well for the Giratina. And so I swap out onto my Nidoqueen. This is a bit of a risky play, because they would have access to the charge move of Psyshock. But as you're going to see, we can still go for a Poison Fang, which will allow us to get the drop onto the defense, but also get them low enough that we might be even able to farm them down. But nothing like this is going to happen here as the opponent swaps out into the Giratina. I try to stall for time by going for the Poison Fang, and we try our best to swap back into our Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl is loaded with energy. I am going to be able to take this move by literally the tiniest bit there. Dragon Claw was not enough to knock out our Nidoqueen there. We can knock out that Giratina with 2 more fast moves. We have a Charge Move start, which we mostly should go straight for. Like, I don't really see the point of not doing that. Yeah, Florges coming in here. Florges is going to be a bit of a tough Pokemon, but I'm honestly in a very solid position still. We have now 2 Fairy-type Pokemon from the opponent left, and we have Corviknight, a Pokemon that's going to be able to resist the Fairy-type damage. And so the Togekiss is super low already, like literally in range of any kind of Air Cutter, and the Florges here is going to be in a position where, yes, they're going to be able to go for their Chilling Water the entire time to debuff me. But I can get up a ton of energy, and I can try to catch the move even on the Nidoqueen, which doesn't work out, but I can clear my debuffs. And so I should be in a great spot. I'm at a 100 energy. Yes, I'm at -1 now from the Chilling Water, but even another Chilling Water is not going to be enough to knock us out. This move is going to have a 30% chance of boosting my attack. Doesn't happen for the first time. Maybe for the next time. It's quite likely to happen at least like 1 out of 3, I would say. Doesn't get the boost here. That's kind of unfortunate. But it's okay. We can shield as long as we... Oh, we actually don't even need to shield yet. As long as we are going to be able to just get 1 boost from the Air Cutter, we should be fine here. The opponent is going to be forced to use a shield very soon here. Air Cutter is coming through. Didn't get the boost yet again. And with that, they survived with a 1 HP here. If I just had the boost 1 time, I would have won this battle. There was actually no doubt about it. But I am now at -3. The opponent is doing more fast move damage. If I just would have had 1 time a boost, I would have been fine. But in 5 or 6 Air Cutters, we didn't get a single one. It's just unlucky, which is fine. It happens. But like this will have changed the entire battle, and that's kind of the only thing I want to point out here. Yes, I lost. That's totally okay. And I lost because I was unlucky, but that's part of the game. Like at the end of the day, any kind of debuffing move that is not guaranteed, it's our roll of dice, and either you're lucky or not. And at this point, I just wasn't. And that's okay. We can move on. We're going to have here the Corviknight against us. So we were able to get shield here already, which is honestly really good, especially because Grimmsnarl put the opponent's Corviknight now into range for 2 paybacks. But the opponent tries to retaliate here by going into a Guzzlord. Guzzlord is generally a very good matchup for our lead, as we double resist the Dark and we double resist the Dragon-type damage. But they usually are running Sludge Bomb, which then again is a bit more awkward for us because Sludge Bomb is going to do super effective damage against us. And so the Brutal Song is coming through, not doing a lot of damage here against us. We can just play it out, I think. I don't really see the need of us swapping out of here. Air Cutter's coming through. Again, we are just not getting a single boost anywhere. Like we are now, I think, at 10 Air Cutters in a row without getting a boost or something. It's quite unlikely that stuff like this happens, but apparently for me that is just the case here. Air Cutter's coming through again. We don't get a boost again. I didn't even know at the time that I got that unlucky with it, but that's okay. We're gonna swap out here into the Grimmsnarl. We had to kind of catch a move here. I try to catch the Dark move, of course, which would be double resisted, but they're gonna go for their own Air Cutter, and they get the boost immediately, of course. 30% chance. It is quite likely to get the boost, just not on our side. And I'm curious if this is going to impact the battle here now. I have no idea, by the way. I have no idea how this battle is going to go. We have the Air Cutter coming through. We're going to be able to go for the full farm down here. They got another boost back to back. How lucky. Guzzlord is coming in here. We're going to be able to let the move go. That is fine. Maybe we'll survive the Brutal Swing without that kind of damage. But, yeah. We're going to see another Brutal Swing coming in. And they're going to have in the back the Zygarde. I fairly certain if I had normal luck in this battle as well, I would have most likely won this one. But to be fair, like in most of my battles this night and this morning, I wasn't really lucky. And that is fine. I don't really need to care too much about it. I'm already legend. But I think it's like kind of more important to say, like, I think this team actually works out quite well. I think that the combination of Grimmsnarl and Nidoqueen is actually quite nice. But if you have Corviknight in the middle of it, and Corviknight just can't get a single boost, which is kind of expected for it, it just changes battles, and that's okay. We lose because of it here. And that's alright. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Grimmsnarl is kind of cool. Definitely get one, especially for the Great League, though, the Morgram. Check out the video to watch as well, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.